those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen. Nerds International proudly presents
Hello and welcome to Veiled Fury Entertainment. I am Manuel and today I'm going to teach you how to make awesome looking bennies for your games with the help of circular cutters, self-adhesive paper, a little bit of imagination and standard poker chips. So first, there are some things in the whole process I can't really teach you, mainly the creativity part, I'm sorry. But I can give you some pointers on where to go and just plainly show you how I do it, and maybe that will give you some inspiration for your own ideas. So let's get started with the first step. You will want to know what artwork you want on your bennies. Now for this example I'm going to create bennies for my conversion, Savage Shadowrun 2nd edition, and the images I am showing here and I'm going to use from the Shadowrun 5 toolkit for fans and fan websites. I'm not really sure if this is how they imagined they would be used, but hey, they are free and I am legally able to use them. So I design the covers for the bennies in GIMP because hey, it's free. What you want to do is you want to create a rectangular image and fill it with whatever artwork you will want on there. For the front side of the bennies, I like to write the name of the game on it. Usually people should know it, but if you're running con games or something like that, convention games, then it's always a nice feature to have that on. If not, just yeah. Also, I'm not going to teach you how to use GIMP. There's a lot of tutorials on the internet to learn that. So basically what I did is I have this rectangular image, and then I just chose from the toolkit a few fitting images for the front side of the bennies. I went with 4 images, so I have 4 different bennies, which seems to be kind of a standard for benny packs. And then I had to design the back side, which is identical on all the bennies. For that I took one of the wallpaper images from the fan pack, added the iconic Shadowrun snake logo, and of course, because of licensing, but also, yeah, the Savage Worlds fan logo. Now, I saved all of this, so the back side and all 4 of the front sides as standard PNG images, and then I imported those into an open document writer file. I'm using LibreOffice for this next step. So here I can easily arrange them for the print, makes it a lot easier. The cutter I'm using, I'll come to that shortly, is 1 1/4 inch in diameter, so you want all your images a little bigger than that. So since I'm working with the metric system, 1 1/4 inch equals roughly 3.2 centimeters. So I made every one of those images 3.3 centimeters, so I have a little margin around the edges and the cut isn't all that difficult. So of course, per benny you want 1 front side and 1 back side, and then you just import all 4 of the images and slap the back side attached to every one and leave some space between them, and you just fill a sheet and then you print that sheet on self-adhesive paper. That's available from Avery. I'm going to put links to everything I'm using into the video's description. Some of it you may have to search and Google for yourself, because I'm buying this stuff in Germany, so just figuring out how it's called in the United States or in the UK was a bit tricky. So I had no idea that what I call self-adhesive paper is known as a sticker sheet in the US. Live and learn. So if you have this one and you have printed it, then begins the fun part. You may want to flatten it after the print because there's a lot of ink and it tends, the paper tends to do this. Not much of a problem when you cut it, but well, this is the circular cutter I got off Amazon in Germany. I believe it is something like it is available in the United States from Walmart, or maybe eBay or Amazon if you can find it. Now, print goes in here and you can really align it very nicely with these sorts of cutters. And now you can see why I printed it a little bigger than the circular cut is actually going to be, because aligning that perfectly would just be a big pain. And like this, I have a very, very nice cut. And I'm just going to do that again. Side. And we have the two cuts of the print. Now for the next step to actually fix them on the poker chip, I advise you use a scalpel. Try to cut yourself in the finger, which is probably going to happen if you start doing this. Aligns nicely with the outer ring. And you have pretty much a standard Benny. If the camera would focus, that would be nice. Yeah. Nope. Come on. Focus. Damn you. Just going to repeat the whole process for the back side. Yes, this. And just like that, you have a Benny with awesome looking. I think it just needs some help with the focus, right? Or not. Come on. Doesn't like me. Okay. Well, but I think you can see well enough what I mean. And that way you have something that looks very similar to the officially sold Bennies. Quality is going to vary mainly by the quality of your printer. I own a rather cheap inkjet, so the print doesn't look all that fancy when you really look at it, but it holds up well enough for convention games, for Savage Worlds fan work, or just your home table games. Believe me, your players are going to love this. This is pretty much the same method I used for the older Bennies I did. I'm just going to show you some of my older Bennies, and what I used there is simply a cutter with a smaller diameter. This is a 1-inch cut, which fits in nicely with the inner ring of these poker chips I got, and the bigger cutter just covers the whole inside area of the chip. I have some older chips also, which didn't have this fancy hologram, and they have only the inner ring with a 1-inch diameter. These are the bennies I made for Richard Woolcock's Saga of the Goblin Horde game. So yeah, this is how I make my own bennies, and it's not expensive. The poker chips I bought for, I think, 35 euros for 500 pieces in various colors. And then you have the adhesive paper, which usually isn't all that expensive, and well, you need to buy a scalpel, and the paper punch or circular cutter will set you back around $15 to $20. So you have a bit of initial investment, but you can create a lot of bennies for that initial investment, and it doesn't take very long to do it. The thing that takes the longest is the design of the actual benny, and if you're only creating bennies for your home games, you can use whatever artwork you find, because where there's if nobody knows, nobody is going to judge you for it, or initiate a lawsuit or something like that. For convention games, I would advise to be a little more careful with what artwork you use, mainly because out of fairness for the artists. But hey, do what you want. I'm not the boss of you. So yeah, this is how I create my bennies. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video, and until then, stay savage.